Hello everyone, my name is the Koba, and welcome back to Satisfactory. It is here, finally. Satisfactory 1.0 has released this morning, and it is time to jump in and start playing. Let's go ahead and launch a game. We're going to be starting in the Rocky Desert. It's, in my mind, the most balanced of the starting areas. You got plenty of room to build, you've got easy access to the mid-game resources, and you're right next to the Northern Forest where you're going to find a lot of your late-game stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for so long.
Congratulations, you are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, A-B-B, in the binary system of Akicha.
Alright, let's find some iron, figure out where we're going to set up our base. Oh, hello, lizard doggo. Yeah. This one doesn't want to be my friend just yet. Okay, so we've got some down there. Oh. We have been spotted. Oh gosh, I wasn't looking for a fight just yet. Alright. Ugh. Alright, got one.
Samples of new alien species acquired.
Now in this series, we're going to be building beautiful, efficient factories. We're going to focus on clean, efficient structures that look good and work well. And once the tools are available, we'll be building them in a cinematic style. So hopefully it's satisfying both to see the factories being built, but also to see them finished. I'll also be talking a little bit about each of the game mechanics that we encounter, so that if it's your first time playing Satisfactory, or even if it's not, maybe you'll learn something new and take some value out of each episode. Alright, we have made it to the iron, and it looks like there's another hog over here. You know what, let's set the hub we want it close by, but I love the idea of having a lakefront view, so we'll set that up right over here, like so.
Hub foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fixit pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Once finished, the hub will function as your base of operations. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 1.
Alright, so you can hold shift and hit the spacebar to have it auto-craft. Since we're going to need a ton of iron, I'm just going to auto-craft through all the iron we've gathered so far into ingots, and then we'll start taking a look at the milestones to unlock the hub. I want to move pretty quickly through the tutorial, and then I think in today's episode we're going to try and push through all of Tier 1 as well, because it's really at the end of Tier 1 that you gain the ability to set up a basic permanent base that's, you know, well automated, well functioning. You have your power sort of situated with biomass burners, you have foundations so you can lay out everything nicely. And I think that is going to be our goal for today. But our first step, of course, is to find the hub upgrade 1. That'll give us the portable miner as well as the equipment workshop, and we need 10 rods for that. So let's go ahead and craft up 10 iron rods.
Hub upgrade 1, storage and frame, completed. Equipment like the portable miner can now be made in the workshop. Congratulations on completing your first milestone, the first of many providing access to new recipes and technologies for the Fixit mission. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 2.
Now the portable miners don't require power, you set them down, but you have to do everything by hand. That's really the name of the game at this stage of the game, is to do everything by hand, and automation will come soon. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. Alright, and with that portable miner in play, let's head on back to the hub and see what we can do next. All right, with our automatic miner gathering up some iron for us, we can now take a look at Hub Upgrade 2. That's going to give us our smelter as well as copper. So let's go ahead and select that milestone. We can see we're going to need some rods and plates for that. We've got a few rods and plenty of iron ore and ingots. Let's go ahead and get this stuff crafted up.
Hub Upgrade 2, Power and Shell, completed. The smelter can turn raw ore such as copper and iron into ingots, and the biomass burner generates power when fueled. Fun fact: most of the native flora and fauna is compatible with Ficsitcam technology. Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate materials will result in deductions or even cancellation of your yearly bonus. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 3.
Now, Hub Upgrade 2 has given us the smelter and copper, so we'll dig into that. But before, we're going to go ahead and select our Hub Upgrade 3 milestone so we can see what we are working towards. We've got some plates, some rods, and some copper wire. And let's do a quick scan for copper and see what we can find. All right, with our copper in hand, let's head on back and see what we can if we can make up what we need for this this milestone. Now, before we dig into the milestone, I want to build a smelter. That's our first production building. Let's go ahead and get that set up here. And then we can use this to make either the iron ingots or the copper ingots. So let's go ahead and make some iron ingots. Let's go ahead and use that for copper ingots since we're out of iron ore. Let's drop that in there. And then that requires power. So we connect the power line to our biomass burner. And we can drop in some fuel, which we had set in our storage container. I can grab a little bit more from the ground here real quick, though. We will drop in those leaves. Let's grab some more. Go. And now this is producing copper ingots for us. Now, we only have one biomass burner available to us right now. I think pretty soon we'll unlock the second one, and then we'll be able to set up some additional machinery. So let's go ahead and get through this milestone and see what we get next.
Hub Upgrade 3, Interior Furnishing, completed. The constructor can produce simple parts, and power poles allow for the expansion of the power grid. When you make the inevitable mistake, Ficsit's dismantling feature is designed to salvage all resources used during construction, in line with our zero-waste policy. We understand that Ficsitcam pioneers are only human, and thus prone to error. Next objective: complete Hub Upgrade 4.
All right, and with Hub Upgrade 3 out of the way, we now have access to limestone. So let's do a scan and see if we can't find some limestone to work with. Looks like we've got some to the west here and a little bit more to the east. Let's head west. That's the closest patch. Having our stuff spread out isn't the best, but such is the early game. We'll be able to run conveyors to connect all this stuff up soon enough. All right, now that we have some limestone being mined, I think our next step is going to be to take a look at our second production building, the constructor. For that, we're going to need a couple of reinforced iron plates. Let's go ahead and craft those up. Now, we still only have one biomass burner, so we're going to need to disconnect our smelter and set up a power pole, which will act as a branching point, so we can reconnect our smelter. And now also set up a constructor alongside of it. Now, this constructor can be set to create the iron plates we'll need. We'll drop in some iron ingots. And then lastly, we'll connect it with power. All right, with all 3 of our machines up and running, our 2 smelters flanking our constructor, we have some copper production underway. We have some iron plates being produced and enough now to finish our milestone. And then we can take some iron ingots and use those for any rods we'll need in the future. So let's go ahead and grab our copper and turn that into the wire and cable we'll need and get this milestone sent away. All right, let's get this milestone sent away.
Hub Upgrade 4, Landing Platform and Utilities completed. Conveyor belts connect the output of one building to the input of another and transport resources. Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 5.
With that, now that we have conveyor belts, we can connect up our machines and make them a little bit more efficient. So let's go ahead and tear down our constructor, and let's go ahead and restructure our power grid here as well. So we will have a machine there. We'll set up another pole there. We'll go ahead and set our constructor up right here, directly in front of our smelter, and bring a conveyor belt in. So we should have iron coming in now. And this can go into producing, it looks like we're going to need iron rods right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure we have plenty of iron ore for our iron ingots, and then reconnect our smelter as well. And then this one, let's see, do we have power? We're up to, so we can do another constructor here once we get some parts to automate wire production as well, since that's something else we'll need. All right, now our next milestone is going to give us the miners, storage containers, and some additional inventory slots. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We fortunately have the concrete for it, but the rods and the cabling are going to take some time. Those are under production, so I'm going to run around, gather up my resources, and we'll come back when we're ready to move on. All right, it looks like we have blown a fuse in our power grid, so let's come on over and see what's going on with that. Aha, we are out of fuel. Let's go ahead and drop in some more leaves. And then flip the switch. It looks like that has also given us a Steam achievement. That's pretty cool. Alright, we've got the materials for our Hub Upgrade 5 all gathered up, so let's send that one away.
Hub Upgrade 5, Power Expansion, completed. The miner, unlike portable miners, can be connected to conveyor belts and requires power to function. Caution: as you expand, the energy demand of your production may exceed the capacity of your power grid. The onboarding program was established because Fixit pioneers often experience memory issues after planetfall. If you are experiencing nosebleeds, nausea, existentialism, or an itchy scalp, there is no need for concern. This should pass within 5 to 7 workdays. Next objective, complete Hub Upgrade 6.
Alright, now Upgrade 5 gave us the miner machine, but those use quite a bit of power, so instead of setting those up now, we're going to go ahead and push through and complete Hub Upgrade 6. Now, fortunately, we have enough materials that we should be able to do this without setting up any additional infrastructure. And once we have Hub Upgrade 6 done, what that's going to give us is the biomass burner and biomass. That'll greatly expand the amount of power available to us because biomass is significantly more efficient than burning grass or wood directly. So once we can do that, then we'll have a little bit more leeway in order to set up some more permanent production lines. So let's go ahead and get this milestone loaded up and sent away. All right, and with that milestone all loaded up, let's go ahead and send that off.
Hub Upgrade 6, Landing Platform Hydraulics, completed. Freighter landing initialized. Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fixit pioneer. Fixit looks forward to your future achievements, because a future with Fixit is a future with you. Tier 1 and 2 milestones are now available in the hub, and biomass burners can now be built individually. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator. This objective will take a significant amount of resources, so Fixit recommends getting to work.
All right, with those milestones away, we now have access to tiers 1 and 2. But before we get into those, we're actually going to want to go ahead and set up some proper production lines so that we can start stockpiling the resources we're going to need, not only to complete those tiers, but to build the things that they unlock, things like foundations. So we're going to tear down everything that we have and set up some dedicated biomass burners and some full production lines, some miners, smelters, and constructors, as well as storage containers to gather up the results of those products. Let's get into it. All right, and with all of that built, we are now in a position where we're building up stockpiles of basically all the resources we need. Let's take a look at what Tier 1 requires and holds in store for us. Now, there are 3 milestones in Tier 1. Base building is probably the one we're going to use the most throughout the game because it gives us our foundations. Now, foundations take a ton of concrete and iron plates, so we're going to need to build up a nice stockpile before we can do much with this. But we can start putting down small foundations attached to the world grid, which will let us expand them and connect them later on very easily. So this is definitely something we're going to want to do just as soon as we have the resources for it, because it's going to provide literally the foundation base layer for every future build. Logistics is another one we're going to want to get straight away, particularly for the splitters and mergers. That's going to allow us to make much better use of our resources. For example, right now our miners are pulling 120 iron ore a minute out of the ground. Now our belts can only move 60 a minute, and our smelters can only use 30 a minute. Now, there's not much we can do about the belts just yet, but once we get splitters, we'll be able to split that 60 a minute into 2 smelters and make much better use of those resources. Field research is another one that's going to be pretty important for us, and that's particularly because of the MAM. That'll let us go hunting for hard drives and find some alternate recipes, and there are a couple, like cast screws, that I'm going to want to pick up early if at all possible. Those 3 milestones are things that we're definitely going to need to pick up straight away. Okay, it's been a few minutes. You can see that I went ahead and set up another concrete constructor over there just to make sure we have a nice stockpile of that building up. We're going to be using a ton of concrete to pave this whole area, so we want to make sure we're producing enough. There's a couple more limestone veins just up there that we'll probably tap in the future, but I didn't want to stretch our power resources too thin while we're still using the lower grade fuels in our biomass burners. And 2 constructors should be enough to do it. So let's go ahead and take a look at these milestones. All right, we've got our first milestone, base building, all filled in. So let's get that one sent away.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
All right. Let's wait for the minute for our drop pod to return. All right, and our drop pod is back. Let's take a look at our second one, logistic. That'll give us the conveyor splitter and conveyor merger, as well as our conveyor lift, which will help clean up some of our spaghetti.
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fixit encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in. Visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out. Feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
All right, and it's time for our final milestone in Tier 1, which is our field research.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
All right, with that milestone away, we have access to the map, so we can start to see where things are at, and this will be helpful if we want to scan for new resources. Say we want to find some additional limestone veins, we can do that, and then see on the map where those are at, as well as see their purity. So we'll be able to tap a couple more limestone veins there, and you can see that we've already tapped a couple of them for our concrete production. All right, and with those milestones away, our next task is going to be to build a proper base, but that is something that we are going to save for our next episode. I'd like to thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to spend with me here in the world of Satisfactory. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you haven't, subscribe if you'd like to see more. As always, my name is Dakoba, and I hope you have an efficient day. We'll see you soon.